What is going on, you guys? Today I have another video review for you. This one is from Passport Heavy, and the title is Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Cost of Living and Travel Guide, 4K. Let's get into it. By the way, the title of this video is a joke. You're going to find out why these people love living in this place.
Woo! Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I've been waiting for this place a long time. I've been traveling around the world for the last 8 years, nonstop, and people are always like, yo, how's Rio? I was like, I've never been. They're like, what? You've never been to Rio? I was like, nah. And so this year, that all changed. And so I've known about Rio, since watching Snoop and Pharrell on the steps. Beautiful, you're my favorite. I don't sing, that's probably not the best thing. So first off, I'm gonna talk about accommodations, because you're gonna need a place to stay. I was on edge when I got to Rio from all the stories I heard and how dangerous it was. But after the first day, I was like, okay, it's a little overhyped. It's just like anywhere in the world, and I can tell you that, like, honestly. So when you're in New York, when you're in Chicago, there's just certain neighborhoods that you shouldn't go, and you know not to go. And so people are like, oh man, you didn't go to the real Rio, you weren't hanging at night in like the most, I'm like, yo fam, what am I going on vacation for to hang in the most dangerous neighborhoods? That's not my thing. So let me just talk about the accommodations that we first stayed at. So the first place that we all stayed at was this over-the-top penthouse. When I say over the top, Nike rented this place for $500,000. Yes, $500,000 US for 1 month during the Olympics. It's the biggest penthouse in Rio. 15,000 square feet penthouse. It has a full-size pool. It's got a jacuzzi, 11 bedrooms. I don't know how many kitchens. Let's just say this place is ridiculous. And so I gotta give a big shout out to the homies at Where in Rio. If you're looking for luxury real estate, they rent it, they sell it short-term, long-term, and if you're looking to buy it. So this place is literally on sale now for about 10 million US dollars. The view is incredible, the rooms are big, and I see it more as like if you're having like a bachelor party, if you're looking to host a big event. For me, it didn't feel like a home, it just felt like a huge, massive show place. Like, you are impressed when you walk through these doors. And so I can't say enough about Fred and Fred at Where in Rio. They really took care of the boy. They speak so many different languages. And so we stayed there for 3 nights and they hosted us. And so you might be wondering about the price tag. So right now, I believe, so we stayed in, because basically you can split it in half too. One side has 6 bedrooms, the other side has 5 bedrooms. If you get both combined together, it's about $3,500 a night, $4,000 a night. And then if you split them in half, one side's like $2,500, and I think the other side is like $1,500, like $1,800 a night. But they were gracious enough to host the boy. And then on top of that, they're like, yo, we are the leading company when it comes to luxury real estate. And then so Fred was like, yo, I have to show you this one place. I was like, I don't know, bro. I've already seen this amazing place. He's like, no, this is literally the best view in Rio. I thought he was hyping it up. When I got there, let's just say I knew what time it was. Joa is like the most exclusive area code in Rio. Think of Malibu in California. This place, yo, JP, just showing what this place looks like. I don't even know if I have words for this place. It goes for about $1,500 a night during the winter. That's another time. So we went in June, and so that's known as winter. And I was there for about 2 weeks, and their winter, I'm like, yo, you call this winter? I don't know what you call winter, man. But being from Chicago, this is not what I call winter. So now we got these ridiculous over-the-top penthouses out of the way. Let's talk about something a little bit more realistic. So like that last place I heard during the Olympics, Neymar stayed there. He's one of the most famous soccer players in the world. He makes millions of dollars a month. Not everybody's got a budget like that. And so when we went to this next spot in Leblon, and this what I would say was our home during the trip. We spent about 7 days there, and it was perfect in every way for us. We had a view of the ocean, it had a nice little jacuzzi, and it was a penthouse as well. And this place was $400 a night. And so there was 3 of us, and it had plenty of space. And so the homies at I Live Global really took care of us. When I say took care of us, I understand now what 5-star service is all about. So when I was waking up in the morning, boom, breakfast is made, not just like a piece of toast. I'm talking fruit, eggs, vegetables, whatever that you want, coconut water, anything that you want, fresh juices. And I was like, wow. And then also, they would clean the place every single day. Because one of my biggest gripes with Airbnb or renting a home is that you don't get those hotel amenities. And I'm like, I'm on vacation. I don't want to have to worry about washing dishes and cleaning up and doing all these things. So that was one of the things that I truly appreciated about I Live Global. And I'm telling you, they will take care of you. Tell them your boy sent you, and I cannot recommend them enough. So still talking about accommodations. I'm going on and on and on. So here's one thing I want to tell you. They got something for every budget. Like I said, the 4-star joints, you can go anywhere from $40 up to like $120 a night. And then if you want a 5-star joint, they start from like $150 all the way up to $400 a night. And then like I said, you want a 3-star joint, you can get something for like $40 a night in Rio. And that's in a good neighborhood as well. So don't think just because I'm sharing some of these more expensive places, that's all there is available. And then so the one thing about the accommodation I want to say, there was 3 of us, so we needed 3 rooms. So you might be a couple or you just might be a single traveler. At I Live Global, if you want like a 1-bedroom, they've got those options for you. And those are like $100 a night and they have all different types of. So I don't want you to think they start at just only $400. if you're just a solo traveler, you don't need a whole 3 bedroom. Now, if you want to get away from the hustle and bustle, so Rio in the main part, the energy is nonstop. So I went to this spot called the Sofitel up by Santa Teresa. Now, if you ever watched my Panama video and you've seen Casco Viejo and you want to feel like you're actually in the culture, around locals, and it just has, the architecture is beautiful, that's what this place is. It's so trendy, it's so hip. If you want mixologists for drinks, the Sofitel takes care of you. It's a visual masterpiece. They have like the amazing restaurant, and they have literally views to die for. And the staff, I mean, they really take care of you from the moment that you walk in the door. And like I said, it's away from everything, and it just has that real majestic feel. I ain't gonna lie, I felt like Pablo when I was up there overlooking the view. And now, on the other flip side, if you want complete tranquility, about 30 minutes away from Ipanema, and there's a spot where it's a whole strip of shops and new condo resorts and hotels. And so I was asking locals, like, where do people go when they want to kind of have that Hamptons, just pure relaxation feel, where it's just quiet and bliss? And they're like, hey, they go here. And one of the top resorts over there is the Grand Hyatt. And for me, like I said, I'm a sucker for like contemporary feels and just really modern, those nice bed sheets. Grand Hyatt feels like you're on vacation, right? So they have the pool, they just have everything is pristine, it's a brand new place. And ladies and men, if you want a nice spa experience, they have one of the best spa experiences in Rio. Like, and then here's the most amazing thing. I mean, when I was there in June, it was $120 a night. Yes, $120 a night for a true 5-star experience. But I've been talking about accommodations a lot. Let me get to some of the activities that we did out here. So when you're in Rio, there is no shortage of things to do. It doesn't matter if you're talking about dancing the night away, if it's restaurants. So I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. Scared like when I went scuba diving for the first time, but it became one of the most exhilarating feelings I've ever had in my life. What am I talking about? I went hang gliding. I don't know if I can explain this in a way that can do it justice. So when I first rolled up, I wasn't even planning on doing it. Me and JP were like, hey, we're just gonna take pictures and watch. And so Katura and Livia, they were the only two gonna do it. But then when I got up there, I was like, there's so many moments in life where everything that you want is on the other side of fear. There's more of a mental thing for me. I'm like, yo, we got these pretty girls jumping off. And I was like, my big ass can't even do it. After seeing the girls do it and they jump, like Katura's legs, when she was running, she literally just stopped. I was like, ah! Olivia, she looked like an angel. And then when I did it, my legs buckled too. And then it was all good. 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in, I'm like, I'm enjoying the view. Now, if your pilot want to be a cowboy, just pray for your life. I don't know if I begged for my life more as an adult than I did during them. He's like, you want to have some fun? I was like, no. He's like, you sure? I was like, no. And then he's like, whoa! And I was, and he could see the fear in my eyes, and then he slowed it back down. But I can't tell you, if you'll go in there, it's one of the best experiences that you can do. Go hit up my boys at the Flying Guru. They are so professional. They get the job done. They'll bring you down in one piece. And now, if you're talking about views, the number one thing on TripAdvisor is Sugarloaf Mountain. And so I actually went there before I went back with JP, and I think it's about $35. And so when I went up there, I was like, I'm in Brazil, $35 to go see a view. When I got up there, I said, wow, I see the engineering masterpiece up here. This thing is a work of art from the way that they have the cable cars, the restaurant, everything is worth the price of admission plus more. So after that crazy activity of hang gliding and then also, the crazy views on top of the mountain of Sugarloaf, you gotta chill out a bit, tranquilo. And so I was introduced to Marianne. And so Marianne is a tour guide in the city. She knows a lot about the black history within Rio. So Brazil as a whole has one of the biggest black populations in the entire world as far as a country. And so she was just sharing with me a lot of the history in Rio. She took us to Lapa. So if you've seen Snoop in the video where they're sitting on the steps, they're like, beautiful. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna sing because I can't do it. They have so much of a story. So they have one of the most famous artists in Brazil. And the thing is, they have all of these different tiles, and they literally have tiles that represent each country around the world. So you might just see videos, but there's all these cool stories behind each piece of art that you see. And then it also goes, it connects to Santa Teresa, what I was talking about earlier. And so one thing about Marianne is that she will adapt to you. You tell her what you want to do in the city. So if you want to go do helicopters, if you want to go do some crazy stuff, she can do that. But if you want to take, an amazing walking tour, if you want to learn about the history of the city, I cannot tell you how amazing that she is. And she'll also feel your energy as well. So if you want fact, she's going to give it to you. If you're like, bruh, I just want to know a little bit about the history. Let's just have a good time and tell me why these things are the way it is. She's really good at reading energy. So I cannot recommend her enough. And so one thing is, you're going to see a bunch of links in the description. A lot of, so if you're talking about the Airbnbs, the real estate companies, everything, will be throughout the description of this video. And so after chilling with Marianne, I said, let's turn it back up. Let's get this energy going. It's not a passport heavy video without a shopper. One of the best ways to see the city is a helicopter. And prices are not too bad. I think it was about $150 a person when we went. And if you want to see the Christ the Redeemer, this is one of the best ways possible. And so I always see these pictures of the legs hanging out the helicopter. And I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Yo, next time, keep the doors on the chopper, man. I ain't doing it. Yo, it's too windy. It's too complicated. Hey, it looks cool. Yo, just enjoy your view. Keep the doors on the chopper. But if you want to be one of those reckless adrenaline junkies, I put my leg out the window. I was like, whoa! Almost thought I lost my leg. I was like, nah, I ain't doing it no more. I ain't doing it. But I'm telling you, you get some of the best views. Like I said, if you can try and do it at sunset, I highly recommend it. Safety is a big thing. Don't be like me and JP. So JP's walking out to the thing. They're like, no, what are you doing? And then me, anyways, let me not tell them myself.
No, they just say we're coming. Don't just walk away and not say anything.
You're gonna drive, brother. So you're gonna drive? All right, do it again. But I don't think we were the best behaved customers that they've ever had. I was like, yo, I'm a paying customer. Let me on the chopper. And so one of the best activities I did during my entire time in Rio was go to the national park, and it has the largest urban jungle in the entire world. We saw these amazing waterfalls. So a lot of people, they hike up, they ride bicycles. It's just a place that you want to get away from the city. The girls were having an amazing time. I just stayed taking some pictures, because you know the boys are photographers. They be hating on my photography skills, but I got that juice, I got that sauce. And big shout out to our drivers. So one of the things is transportation in the city. You might be wondering, how do we get about? So a lot of times, Uber, I would say, is a thing that most people will do. But if you have a little bit of bigger of a budget, I would recommend getting a driver. So what I did is literally, I used Uber for like the first 3 days, 4 days, and then I found a driver that I really vibe with. And Uber's great out there. It works phenomenal. They really back it in the city. And so we had a driver, and then I found this guy, David. Really cool guy, and he spoke English. I was like, yo, you coming with us? And so he was with us the entire time, and I think I negotiated a rate of, I think it was like $160 a day, and he was with us like literally all day long, and so I did it on a weekly rate. So depending on your driver, it might be $160, it might be $200 a day, depending on the car. So he had a really nice car, within the city. So it just depends on what you're doing, and we were doing activities nonstop. And then also for like a safety factor, because we had a lot of camera gear, we didn't have security, so a lot of times we wanted to leave stuff in the car. I just needed someone I should trust, and so shout out to the homie David. I know after we drop this video, if you want to get David, it's gonna be probably difficult, but if he's available, you'll see his info below. But he has a list of other drivers as well that can help you out if you want to ride from the airport. So if you know anything, Brazil is known for their football. We were actually blessed to be there during the World Cup. It wasn't playing there, it was actually in Russia, but literally it's a national holiday every time that Brazil plays. All the shops shut down, everything is done. So I wanted to get in spirit, and I was trying to go to the store to get a jersey, but they weren't having it. All the stores were closed, but on the streets they were selling them. So I got one for about 80 real off the street. They got them cheaper. He was just like, yo, this gringo ass dude with an American accent, let me charge you more. So I paid 20 bucks, but I know I probably got it from 10 bucks. Like, let me not, haggle with the dude. So I went to the store because I wanted to get an official Nike one that wasn't gonna fall apart. And so I paid, I think it was 250 real, which is about $70, I think, or so, for the official jersey. Then I had my name. Well, I didn't put my name. I put Passport Heavy on the back of that joint. And so, we just enjoyed the energy. Every time the game is on, if you get a chance to see a big game, I recommend that you're out there in the street no matter what time of day it is. Make sure that you don't miss a soccer game. But now, on the flip side, make sure you go to the beaches. So Brazil is known for the beaches. They have the epic photos on the.
Okay, so I need to pause it here. Basically, he talked about staying at really nice places, and a lot of things that he shows, he's got like a really like kind of almost luxury lifestyle. I've seen another video of his where basically he's close with a guy named Brandon Carter who has something like almost 2 million, not quite, but almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube, and he also runs his own businesses. That guy has like a high rise, like penthouse suite in Miami, right, like top of the building. So they live much nicer lifestyles. Now, something that might be more reasonable for people, he talked about like what that rate would look like for a hotel earlier, but I just looked at this, like, let's say you get something off of Airbnb, and by that I mean not on Airbnb, like you get a local price. It looks like you in 2025 can find places around 425 to 450 a month, maybe 500. And then if you really want like a more prime beachfront location, the rent looks like it can be up to about 1,000 USD a month, which still like it's very similar prices to what I hear for about like Colombia and Thailand and other places in Southeast Asia, for example. So 1,000 is like on the high end, and he's doing like super luxury. So the stuff that he was talking about earlier, like super fancy, but this stuff is like more reasonable if you're like just starting out as like a digital nomad or remote worker or something, so you can build your cash too.
With the mountains in the background, the girls can actually play out here in Rio. And it's like a national sport. Everybody can do like the soccer trips. Literally, you'll have like just a mountain of people on the beach kicking the ball around, doing their tricks. I'm like, I thought I was good. I was like, nah, just sit and watch and observe. And so the beach is just vibes. And so there's two main beaches that you pretty much want to go to within the main city. So you have Copacabana, which is more energy, it's more local. It's an amazing vibe. You have people playing volleyball. I was playing soccer with the kids. I had to show them what time it was. And then you have Ipanema Beach, which is more fancy. It's more, which we say, more high class. And so, but both beaches I enjoy, just a little bit of a different energy. And so when you're sitting on the beach, there's all different types of people. And so they have these like cheese things, I forgot the name of it, but they're like literally cooking right in front of you, and the local guys. And so let's just say you like to enjoy some different types of substances other than alcohol. Let's just say they're pretty easily available in Rio. And so if somebody's selling, let's say, something on the beach, let's just say it's not too hard to find whatever that you're looking for. I don't indulge in it, but if you're looking for it, this is say it's not hard to find. Oh yeah, and then more about activities. How could I forget? So this might sound bougie, but we actually didn't do it bougie this time. We actually took a sailboat, but they did have yachts. But we're doing it last minute. I was like, hey, what's the best boat available that you have? I tried to go out during sunrise. That didn't work. It was kind of cloudy, but then the day cleared up. We had the music, we had good drinks, we had good food. And one thing that I tell you to do, because we did it for, I think it was about 7-8 hours. And then for this boat, I forgot how much I paid. I think it was like $700 or so for that boat. And then if you want to do obviously a bigger boat, it's gonna be more expensive. But here's the crazy thing: for the 7 hours, it's like maybe $800 or $900 to do it for 24 hours. And so then you could go to some incredible spots though, if you're doing it for 24 hours. I definitely recommend it. When I go back to Rio, I'm definitely gonna take a sail for 24 hours. And then Rio Yacht Adventures, I cannot recommend them enough. They really took care of us, super professional. They know what they're doing, and they have the biggest access to fleet in Rio. Woo, your boy's back. And so I know I got a different shirt on, so technical errors happen at time, and also human error. So I'm not gonna point no fingers, but hey, just to say that Salt Bay, he had something to do with this one. But let me get back to Rio, right? So one of the biggest things people want to experience, I know one of the biggest things I wanted to experience was the nightlife and the beach vibes. And the main beach that I knew about, I know I was talking about beaches earlier, was also Copacabana. And so I know that I'm not pronouncing it right, but I'm not Brazilian, I know I can learn. And so the food on the beach is one of the best things that you can do. They have like these stands that go all along the beach. They have these little barbecue things where you can do barbecue chicken, barbecue steak, all types of different barbecue type of things. And then also these drinks. And so there's these drinks that they have capiprinas. Yo, JP, just put the spelling of it. You see what I'm drinking, and you need to get these on the beach. Every night I was going to probably having 4 or 5 at night, so the boy was vibing all night long. Yeah, and then talking about the other beaches, so I was talking about Copacabana, but then there's Ipanema. So if you want to wake up, get an exercise in, learn how to surf, they have surf culture in Rio year round. And so we had a buddy show us around. He's one of the best surfers in town. So if you want to take lessons, if you want to actually go out with someone who knows what they're talking about, you don't want to drown, he's your best hope. And then so enough about exercising, your boy liked to eat. And then one of the best things about Rio is the steakhouses. And we went to one of the top places, it's right by Copacabana Palace. And when you walk in, like I say, you know what time it is. And so they bring out all the different dishes. And because I was so happy with our experience, I Live Global, at our penthouse in Leblon, I had Sylvia come join us just to give a thank you, farewell dinner. And she literally went above and beyond. And so if you're looking to run a place in Rio, I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong with her. If it's literally late at night, early in the morning, they're going above and beyond to serve. Like I said, also the food here, incredible. So it's not an official Passport Heavy video until your boy gets his haircut. You gotta stay fresh when you're on the road. And so my boy Rashid, man, shout out to TPC, if you know, told me about the spot called Mr. Hair. So as soon as I roll up, my guy comes up, daps me, says welcome. And I was like, yo, I know I'm at the right place to get my haircut. And so, he had the boy looking official, ready for the trip. So if you're looking for a place, highly, highly recommend it. You're in the right place. And then my boy Rashid introduced me to his boy, Obi. And so he runs favela tours. And so once we got to the favelas, I ain't gonna lie, boy was a little nervous, but once I got there, I felt really comfortable because I was with a local. So here's the thing about going to the favelas. I don't recommend going by yourself because they do have real situations happening in Rio where they have military grade police and, where basically like the cartel leaders versus the military police and real bullets fly at times. But the thing is, know when it's happening, like the locals know when it's happening, and so you'll have a heads up. If you go randomly wandering, you're like, oh snap, I'm in a real situation. I don't want anything like that, to happen to you. And so when we first got there, we ran into these 3 kids, amazing energy. And so if you know anything about Brazil, capoeira, I'm saying it wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. It's such a huge part of their history. If you've played Street Fighter back in the day with E Honda, like, no, he's all about that Brazilian culture. And so the new generation, they actually preserved that, and they all about it as well. So that was one of the most beautiful things I saw in my time in Rio. And these kids were teaching me how to do the moves and stuff, and I was like, yo, I ain't about it. And I was about to do this one move, and then I thought about it. I was like, yo, my knees ain't built for the kind of stuff that they doing. Obi was just telling me about what they do in the community. They help literally allow the kids, and they keep the kids off the street. And so I donated a little bit of money, to kind of keep their projects going. So that was just like a really good thing. And then after that, Obi took us up to his home. Because one of the things that Obi does, like I said, he does tours, and he also has a guest house. So he's like a well-known figure within the community. And so one of the biggest misconceptions about the favelas is that there's no sense of order. And so literally like the kind of like the cartel leaders within the community, they have rules, so it's like you can't steal, and if you get caught stealing from people within the community, there's serious consequences. So there's like a law in community within the favelas, and there's a reason that a lot of people live in the favelas, and that's because of the cost of living in Brazil. So in Rio, I believe minimum wage, I might get it wrong, but it's not far off, it's about $300 a month. But if you want to live a decent life down in like Copacabana or Leblon and these kind of places, it costs about $2,000 a month. So fam, where are you gonna get that kind of money? And I'm talking like nurses are living in favelas, school teachers, some of the most important people to society are living in favelas because they can't, afford economically to live in the favela, down in like the more expensive areas. So I just want to kind of give you a little history of like why so many people, but like I didn't feel unsafe with literally walking around in the neighborhoods. But like I said, just know the right times to go there and go with a local if you want to go, and see. Like they have restaurants there, they have some dope views. And like I said, if you want to go, hit up my boy Obi. He's official in the city, and he'll definitely keep you, safe in the city and let you know what to do. So one of my favorite restaurant experiences in my entire life was in Santa Teresa, Rio. So this area is more up and coming. It's lively. If you want to feel the culture, if you want to really feel like you're in Rio, this is one of those spots. And so, but with that said, be aware of your surrounding. It's not like being in Leblon or Copacabana or Ipanema, so it's a little bit more edgy. But once you get to the restaurants and you're at these places, you have nothing to worry about. But this view, when I got to the restaurant, oh my God. We went there during the day, and I was like, I actually need to come back and see this place at night. And this is the kind of place that's date night. It's literally one of the best restaurants in the city. You have world-class food, you have mixologists, and you have the view over the entire city. It's so majestic that you're like, man, I might have to pop a question up here tonight. But I'm telling you, like, you cannot go wrong with this spot. Everybody was there, was enjoying. I was talking to people like, how often do you come there? Like, anytime that I get a chance. And then if my girl's unhappy, I bring her here, and everything's good in life after that. And then next, though, let's continue that Brazilian energy. Samba is such a huge part of Brazilian culture. And if you want to feel like that street, that street party kind of vibe, this is where you have to go. I've got the name of the street. JP, always has my back, so he's gonna put the name of this spot. I can't end this video without giving some more love to the nightlife. I mean, we enjoyed to the fullest in Rio. And we're like, man, this might be better than Medellin. But Rio is definitely more expensive and a longer flight.
Okay, and that's a good point that he brings up, right? So it's a good place to add this part in. So it seems like prices are similar to Medellin, maybe a little more expensive. And what he was just saying earlier, like, yes, there's what the locals make and then what you make. So maybe we could be like conservative, okay? So let's say that they were saying 500 is something that would get you a decent spot. That's not on the beach, or a super prime location, but a decent spot, not in the favela. Okay. Well, let's say you stretch it just a little bit, right? Because he said it could go up to 1,000, like maybe 750 or 1,000. That's still much better than whatever you'd be paying in the U.S., right? For a decent place, you'd have good security, and probably some apartment amenities, maybe like a pool or a little gym in there. And so you can pay the extra stuff if you want to. Because this guy's obviously showing you kind of like a prime time, like luxury lifestyle. Like he's definitely like, balling a little bit in the video, which is cool, right? But then you got to think about it. Like if it's anything like Colombia, for example, it's at least 1/4 the price of something in the U.S. or 1/5 maybe. So that's still damn good. You can survive in the U.S. or you can thrive somewhere else. And so I think it's cool that he's showing it from this different angle, because a lot of people show like if it's super budget friendly, but it's good to know both, right? Like if you want to, treat yourself a little bit more. Like obviously that's what this guy's doing, because he gets a driver, he gets a cook, he gets a really fancy place, but you could just get like a $2 Uber somewhere and pay $450 a month in rent, right? It doesn't have to be like this crazy lifestyle either.
From the States, but let me tell you more about the nightlife. The music, incredible. The people, they look phenomenal, just like the videos. And the energy, there's so many different varieties. If you want the street parties, right, you have that. And there's so many different areas. You have like Lapa, which is, I went there, so that part wasn't filmed. I went out dancing there, had an amazing time. It's much more of a local feel, like you really, really feel like you're in Brazil there. I went there without cameras, and like, it's definitely a vibey place to go. And then you have all your areas in like, in Baja, where it's kind of like a beach strip. And then you have like clubs and nightlife. It's kind of more of your upscale partying. And this is where a lot of the, like drinks are like $10 a drink, maybe $11 a drink. But it's vibes, good music, good energy all night long. But I'm gonna let JP just vibe out with some of the footage here that we had of the nightlife. I cannot thank the people of Rio enough for being so warm, so friendly, for changing my perception of what I thought Rio was to the reality of Rio. The food was amazing, so much safer than I thought, amazing energy. The women are even more beautiful in real life than on video. There were so many things better than I actually expected. And so I can't wait to come back and see more of Rio, because the more I talk to people in Rio, I realize Rio is just one city in this amazing country. And so one of the biggest questions I get with every video is, how do you travel nonstop all year long? So for me, I have a marketing company, and so the good thing about Rio, they actually do have decent Wi-Fi and internet connection all around the city. So a lot of times I was just in the apartment. I didn't go to really too many co-working spots. One night I did, but we don't have any footage of it, so they do have a few co-working spaces. But internet's decent, and so for me, like I said, I work online, I run Facebook marketing campaigns, and I also have like a financial educational company. But there's so many different ways to be a digital nomad.
All right, guys, so awesome video. Go check out Passport Heavy. One thing that I do want to mention, and I love that he brought this up, because enough people talk about it on one side or the other. And I think he took a nice middle ground with this too, right? Because people would talk about like Medellin, Colombia, and it being unsafe, or Rio being unsafe. But if you do it the right way, if you have someone like a local, for example, that or it's like a tour guide, or even just you're connected through your network, that would be super helpful. Like going through favelas, or if you're going to do some nightlife, right? Because the thing with Colombia is the same thing, right? If you get yourself into a funny situation where, you're out with the wrong people or walking down the wrong street, it's funny. It's just like in the U.S., by the way, or like You don't accept drinks from random strangers that are open already, for example, because there's a drug called scopolamine you can look into. I'm not going to get too into it in this video because it's already a long one. But basically, just be safe, because like he had an amazing experience in Rio. I've had an amazing experience in Medellin and other parts of Colombia. It's all about you putting yourself in the right situations, and the people are really amazing, really kind, super friendly, welcoming, right? And like you said, like the people in this video that he met throughout, they all showed him that Rio is really like a beautiful place. And just keep your street smarts about you, okay? All right, guys, that's enough out of me. Subscribe. I'm teaching more people how to live a lifestyle by design, not one that was designed for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.